Did you know that 2015 is the year that Amazon expects to be unveiling their new delivery system that will use small, remotely piloted drones to deliver packages in as little as 30 minutes to your doorstep? Hi, I'm Tristan Berenger-Kenny, and I would like to shed some light onto the increasingly pertinent topic of drone technology and the use of auto-capable drones in combat. More importantly, I will try to give you some insight into why I feel that the use of unmanned auto-capable technology is an unethical use of new abilities and a bad use of new technology. Just to give some background, drones have been used by the military and the CIA for decades, but they are usually only used in circumstances that required a small or lightweight vehicle that couldn't be detected at a high altitude, but was also not capable of carrying a human, so that would explain why it would be a UAV. But it wasn't until 2004 that drones began to take an offensive stance on the battlefield. The conflict in Afghanistan and Iraq presented a need for more air support on the ground for soldiers, and the Predator program was expanded to meet this need. As a result, the Reaper drone was introduced and developed with this need in mind. But there's a big difference between the Predator and Reaper drone. Also, this information was found on thenation.com for the background. The Predator drone, which is an older model, it's older than the Reaper model. It was introduced in around 1998. It's a long-endurance, medium-altitude unmanned aircraft system. It was made by General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, and it's piloted directly by a person remotely at a facility on the ground. A person flies it kind of like a remote control airplane, controls its every single movement, and it allows us to surveil without risking the lives of troops on the ground, and that's why it was such a big deal in Afghanistan. And that information was found on CNET.com. The MQ-9 Reaper with hunter-killer platform technology became operational in 2007, and it was used in Afghanistan primarily, but also in the Iraq conflicts. The Reaper is similar to the smaller Predator drone, but is equipped with different hardware and behaves in different ways. And it uses a lot of different types of sensing systems. But a little bit about the hunter-killer platform that I had previously mentioned. It uses the high-performance sensors and laser-guided systems to essentially carry out commands that are issued to the aircraft without human manipulation. So essentially, the aircraft acts kind of similar to a soldier. It uses the senses, like the cameras and different modulations that have been put onto the aircraft, and actually identifies and makes the decision to engage targets that have been specified for it. And so the system was invented in part to combat an issue with the Predator drone where, like I said, it has to be controlled in its every movement, and when it loses connection to the ground base, a lot of times they wind up actually crashing and falling into enemy territory. So that was a bit of an issue, and that's part of the reason why the hunter-killer program was implemented on the Reaper drone. And that information was found at defenseupdate.com. Now, the controversy behind all of this is that many have come to view many of the capabilities on the Reaper drone as unethical in terms of liability. So I guess an example would be if you give a soldier an order, and as a result of executing that order, civilians are killed on accident or by mistake, the soldier can be held responsible if it's found that it was out of an act of negligence. But in the case of the Reaper drone, how are you really supposed to hold a drone responsible for killing somebody? I mean, you can't really hold a drone responsible for its actions. And so that's an interesting thing. When you give a piece of technology the ability to make those decisions, I mean, how do you hold it responsible? And the hunter-killer software creates a gray area, basically, between commands issued by an operator and the executor, or in the execution of those commands. So the operator will issue a set of commands, or looking through the camera of the aircraft, it will highlight a region or area, and the hunter-killer drone will look for targets in that area and then make the decision to engage them. And so people look at that as unethical, and I do myself as well. I believe there should always be an American soldier responsible for every life taken at the hands of our military. And I think that's an important thing just as far as running an ethical war is always having a human being at the end of the decision when we're deciding to take a human life. And yeah, in conclusion, drone technology is an industry that promises to improve our lives and help to propel our society into the future. But as we relinquish our duties and responsibilities to our technology, regardless of the benefits, we must ask ourselves if some responsibilities are best kept in the hands of the people who understand the consequences. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Tristan Berger-Kenny.